Thank you, Bu Ratna, for inviting me and ask me to present this materials. So basically, I'm an economist, and I feel useless basically when the COVID is struck, because I know that from several colleagues from the Faculty of Medicine. I asked them, and they said, well, how difficult the problem. And then at that time, I feel very guilty actually, because as an economist, what's good for us? I mean, I cannot do anything. I cannot help you to taking care of a patient and etc. But then I'm thinking about why don't we just trying to do as much as we can as non-medical people basically, and we try to help each other. So let me start with how we perceive this, how we perceive the COVID. So the COVID is basically, if from the economic perspective, we consider it as a public enemy. And as a public enemy, it's like a public good, so that will be non-rival and non-excludable properties. Then the way I see the pandemic is like a war, not disaster, but the war. But then the question is that, who is the enemy? Because if we're talking about the enemy as a virus is very small and it's unobservable by our eyes, but it's turned out to be that the enemy is ourselves, how we deal with our passion basically, and how to become, how we teach ourselves to be disciplined in using the protocol. So, and I completely agree with Pak Laksono that he said about that there is no risk culture in Indonesia. Indeed, it's true, because in Indonesia, basically, it's not easy as well to teach economics. Why? Because people consider, they perceive that everything is abundant. There is no scarcity. Therefore, there is no risk. We have a lack of sense of crisis, basically. So this is the problem, and we do hope, I do hope basically with this pandemic, people start to think about the sense of crisis. So what kind of game basically that we are going to play? And discussion with Pak Riris Andono, that we know that the vaccine probably will be available in 2 years' time. So it takes a long time. So then the question is that what should we do between now until 2 years? And we don't have any assurance as well whether the vaccine will be effective or not. So the way I'm thinking is that, this is like a defensive battle, but we don't know when it will finish. So what is the dominant strategy? The dominant strategy is just two things. One is resource mobilization to tackle COVID-19 and embracing the protocol in every single day life. Many politicians said about the dilemma between economy and health, and start from the beginning of the COVID. Me and also my colleague from economics and many economists in Indonesia, we always said there is no such thing as a dilemma. So the health or the safety is the paramount, and we are the economic variables is actually it will be useless without any human being, or when everybody is sick. So what we need to do is basically how to find the alternative alternative activities in economic activities which conform to the protocol of COVID-19. That's the optimization that we should foresee. So lesson learned, there are many things that are successful from the defensive battle actually. And the way we see is that we use three strategies here. Expect the unexpected in terms of the impact of the pandemic, and the second one, thinking the unthinkable in terms of the alternative solution. But then what the most important thing is resources, which is the resource mobilization. Now, where is the resource mobilization? Let me just go straight. Now, this is the resource mobilization basically. Where is the resource lies? Now, this is I show you where is the fallacy. The fallacy lies. Many people thought that by the time they got we experienced the pandemic, everybody rely on the government. But hang on a second. how much money that the government has. So in the GDP in Indonesia, it's, the government only have about 1/6 of all of GDP. That's in the state budget. 1/5 of a 6 of the GDP is lies in the people, the business and also the people. And 60% of the economy is basically contributed by informal sector, which is the small, medium enterprise. Now, in a war, what you need to think is that you know, many war has been won because of what? 3 things: logistic, and logistic. So we need to approach the logistic, and the logistic definitely is not in the government, but in the people. So this is why in SONJO we have a SONJO. We don't have any money basically, and we said that no money involved in here. And what we need to do is just contributing in terms of we need the resources, of course. We have we have time, and we have labor, and we have a connection, and we use everything to help ourselves. So this is the idea in SONJO, in promoting social capital. Now this is the SONJO that we have. SONJO was developed on the 24th of March, so that will be 6 months in next 24th of August, basically. And we focused in 2 things: vulnerable people and people at risk owing to the pandemic. And the values that we're trying to promote here is transparency, empathy, solidarity, and the synergy. So what we're trying to do here, we use everything that what we have. The Indonesian people love to use the gadget, yeah, and we are very fond of using this gadget. And usually about, on the average, is 3.5 hours a day, people using gadget for WhatsApp and everything. That's why the SONJO is start with the WhatsApp and using the WhatsApp group. It seems quite trivial or quite simple, but look, this is what we have. So basically in a pandemic like this, or in a war like this is an emergency situation. Look at what you have and then how to materialize everything what you have to help yourself. So that's the idea that we're trying to promote in SONJO. Okay, so now our concern is, this is another problem that we have. In Indonesia, the public sector has a heterogeneous incentive system, and the majority of the incentive system for the public sector is basically, you know, their KPI is state budget absorption, and in my opinion, it doesn't make any sense, and it even doesn't make any sense during the pandemic. Although, you know, start from 2008, I always mention about this. I try to criticize this, that we need to change, not to the budget absorption, but move towards the outcome, the focusing on outcome, but nobody listened basically. What we can see now is that SONJO, we don't have any money in SONJO. We don't have, we not allow money involved in here whatsoever. So we only focus in one thing: outcome. How to achieve outcome with given resources that we have. What kind of resources that we have is our connection, is people that we have in SONJO, and also our time. Okay, so this is what's going on. And why is it that we don't, I mean, many people ask me basically, so where do you get the funding? And I said, no, we don't have any funding. So I just want to prove to you that actually you can develop, you can produce stream of outcome without any money. But of course, you need resources. Now, what this is, and this is basically what the SONJO is, what the Sambatan is. So in the old days, what I call Sambatan is working together, actually, building a house. And is there any money in there at that time? No, because people are lack of money because of the colonization and etc. So they just spend 3-4 days helping their neighbor to develop a house, and within all of the what is that, like wood and materials, everything has been provided by the house owner. And what you need to do is just working for 3 to 4 days fully, and what they receive is just like a snack and a coffee, tea, a cigarette, and also lunch. And after 2 to 3 days, voila, you will build the house. Now the same approach has been used in SONJO. Okay. Now, how to develop the social capital? Now, this is one thing that many people made a mistake when they said about, okay, so that's social cohesion and that kind of stuff. So the most important thing is that, you know, how you answer around and everything. No, the most important thing is your integrity and the transparency. So the value that actually SONJO has is like a KPK in 2005 and 2019. So this is the spirit of anti-corruption, basically. And the SONJO will start from anti-corruption circle. And then we start to growing after that. So the most important thing is a trust, and how to build the trust is because of the integrity, transparency, and focus in obtaining outcome. Now the integrity is related to no conflict of interest and no abuse of power. So this is what we have in SONJO, and how to initiate is just do it, basically. Okay, now just want to take a look, you know, what is the structure of the SONJO? We start from basically from one WhatsApp group, and it's now become 9 WhatsApp groups. And from the 9 WhatsApp group, and then we use the employee website, a database, apps, and also the social media. How many people involved in there? There's about 900 to 1,000 people. And also, now this is the SONJO. This is the WhatsApp group in SONJO. You can say this is the HQ, which means the headquarter, and then we have the date. This is the WhatsApp group, and then we have a SONJO database. This is basically the war room, our war room. Any plan or anything that we have in SONJO is actually being discussed in SONJO database, and we have some other stuff that we have in there as well. And something that's very probably many people ask us, why is it that you have a compliance committee? Yes, this is the way to build the trust, because we don't want that people, you know, like a free riding and everything. And so we have a compliance committee in this case to ensure that our organization develop in the right way. We need to keep it in that way. Now, I just want to show you, this is the evolution of the SONJO itself. It starts from WhatsApp group, and then we start creating the database using the Google form and etc. And then start using the website. At first, the website we borrow from our friend, you know, Mardani in MIPA in computer science. And then when we have money, okay, then we have our own website. So our website is sonjo.id. And then we also have the apps here and also the social media. Now, these are 9 programs that we have. It starts from the angkringan and etc. Now I can go through one by one. And if we take a look how this is evaluation by the Vivi Alatas from, she was from the World Bank in the previously, and now she's become a private, and she developed she separated the initiative from 4 strands, and this is what's going on. So basically, we fulfill all of the 4 initiative in the types of initiative based on the Alatas 2020 criteria. Okay, so what is that, the angkringan? So angkringan is basically like a cafe. This is a traditional cafe, and we just talking. So basically, this is like a webinar like this, but hang on, it's not only webinar, but this one is a trigger mechanism. So any problem that we have in SONJO, in WhatsApp group, we're trying to invite people to discuss in angkringan or in a webinar, and then afterward, we follow through afterward. You know, so then sometimes in the follow-up, creating a new initiative, a new program. Then this is related to the food, and so we have the database for the food. At that time we have a 726 SME, 37 supermarket, and 216 traditional market. And then during the Ramadan, we have SONJO Ngabuburit. So everybody, we ask people who some SME to promote to have a advertisement. Okay, and then we circulate to the members, and also we goes through the the social media. And now we have what I call the EPS, Etalase Pasar SONJO. So this is the the EPS, the people can put, they can advertise in there for free. Everything is free in SONJO. We're not allowed to take any money, because why? Because the transaction cost is high, basically. Many people, when they have to move, they have to switch between physical transaction to online transaction, they themselves has a big problem in transforming this. So we consider them as that they have a burden, which is the transaction cost. That's why for the financial transaction cost, we set everything zero to make them easier to move, to other level, especially to the online transaction. Now, many organizations ask us to go to the marketplace, but we refuse it. Right? Because once you go to the marketplace, the problem with us is that many of the SME in SONJO, they only use the mobile phone for WhatsApp. That's it. That is the starting point. If you ask them to go to the marketplace, the gap is so huge. But who will help them? Nobody. That's why we in SONJO, we trying to bring them to the level, to the etalase pasar SONJO. And we have two outcomes now. If you can have if they can be sustainable in their business, that is the outcome. And the second one is that if they can upgrade themselves to the marketplace, that's another outcome. Okay, so this is the way that we trying to do. And then we ask them to share among them, and this is what I call, we have what I call the SONJO Bikunani.
Pak Rimawan, you have 2 minutes.
Okay,
left.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, so this is, and we're trying to promote the frozen vacuum packing for food. Yeah, and now everything, many people trying to do that, and then they can send it with very cheap, cost to Jakarta and Surabaya and etc. So their business is flourishing actually because of this. And this is in August we have the virtual fashion show for the PPE. Again, this is from SONJO, and everything is free here. And also we have in terms of the dissemination, because we know that many, like what Pak Riri said, there are many misinformation outside there. But thankfully, we have so many colleagues from the health department, and then so we can ask them, which one is actually fact rather than the myth. And this one has helped people a lot. Okay, so this is it. So now this is what's going on. Okay, and also we support the many innovation in UGM. Yeah, and like a Genos, this is by Pak Kuatriano, who trying to identify the COVID through to the breath. Yeah. Okay, and also in pharmacy they have this facilities to produce the VTM and also testing for the PPE. And then we have a charity, but the way we charity is that the money do not go through us, but then we have several organizations that working with us. Yeah. And last but not least, we have what I call the networking of so we're not only working in Jogja, but also we have many colleagues as well, or many other groups that's actually inspired by us. So this is one, two, three, four, five. This one is inspired by us at that time, and then they created the new humanitarian movement like this, and we still keep working with them. And we open what I call the SONJO Observer, which is we allow people from outside of Yogyakarta to become part of SONJO, but you stay for 24 hours a day, 24 hours. Now we extend it to seven days. So afterward, we hope that they can creating a similar movement like SONJO in their area. Okay, that's for me. Thank you.